Boys and girls, and thank you for tuning in to another story time here with Miss Nesbitt. Hey, this is Story Time with Miss Nesbitt, and I am going to share with you this wonderful story. And guess what? This is a story to begin our springtime. It is springtime, and you know what happened in the springtime? It is garden season. One of Miss Nesbitt's favorite time of the year is getting back into the garden for spring gardening. So today I'm going to share with you a book called Grow, Candace, Grow. I want to read you a little insert of the story, but first I'm going to tell you who written the book and illustrated it. It was written by Candace Bure and illustrated by Christina Bratz. So let's read the introduction of Grow, Candace, Grow. Shovel and seeds. Check. Water can and bucket. Check. Candace and her classmate have everything they need to plant a garden filled of bright, beautiful flowers. But Candace forgot about a gardener's most important tool, patience. If a little water helped plants grow, she thought, then a little more water should help them grow faster. When Candace accidentally overwatered the garden her class worked so hard to plant, would she come up with a plan to get it blooming again? Let's begin reading Grow, Candace, Grow. It is springtime. Spring has fully arrived. For Candace, that means three things: scrumptious picnics, swirling spring dresses, and most importantly, flowers. Big, beautiful, and wonderful and bright flowers. Candace could hardly wait for colorful blooms to appear. By the time she got to school, she had an idea she was to share with her teacher. Miss Fernweather would like just as much as she did. She should plant a class garden. Candace announced to Miss Fernweather, smiling widely. Miss Fernweather agreed. It was a wonderful idea. So did the rest of Candace's class, especially her best friend, Sophie Rose Harry. However, wasn't so sure. To grow garden, you need dirt, and Harry did not like to get dirty. Candace's class got to work preparing to plant the garden. They brought in shovels and seeds and watering cans and buckets, gardening gloves and special watering hose. When it was finally the time to start planting, Candace couldn't have been more excited. Harry couldn't wait to get over it all. Miss Fernweather showed the class how to dig holes. Not too deep, she said. Then she demonstrated how to place the seeds in the ground and cover them gently with dirt. The class worked together, digging and seeding, until they soon to be garden was planted. Candace's class stood back to admire their hard work. But Candace wasn't impressed. There was no flowers, just a big patch of dirt. When will the flowers bloom? Candace asked Miss Fernweather. Plants need sunlight and just right amount of water to grow, especially, explained Miss Farnwell. She showed the class how to check the soil. When the ground feels dry, give the seeds a little drink, she said. Then Miss Fernweather gave her class an encouraging smile. But plants need time, so we must be patient. In about a week, we'll see the seeds begin to sprout. Then, in 4 to 6 weeks, we will have bright, beautiful flowers. Candace's class checked the garden every day. They watched and waited for the seeds to sprout. Candace tried being patient. She really did. But she didn't see any sign of sprouts. Candace remembered what Miss Fernweather said. When the ground feels dry, give the seeds a little drink. The ground didn't feel dry, but Candace decided some extra water might help. If a little water helped plants grow, she thought, then a little more should help them grow faster. So Candace gave them water. And the next day, she gave them more water. And then the day after that, and even more. Uh-oh, Candace. When the garden didn't sprout, Candace's class wanted to know why. It been a week, said Megan. The garden had plenty of sunlight, said Christine, and we gave it just the right amount of water, added Sophie Rose. Miss Farnwell checked the soil. Then she had up to a handful of dirt and dripping mud. This is very odd, she said. Look up at her class. Did someone give the garden extra water? Candace looked down at the ground. I did, she said very, very softly. I thought a little extra water would make the flowers grow faster. I'm really sorry, everyone. The class was not very happy with Candace, not at all. The garden is ruined, and it's all my fault, wallowed Candace. I gave it too much water, and now the seeds will never bloom. Henry tried to cheer her up, but Candace couldn't be cheerful. That night, Candace tossed and tumbled in her bed. She couldn't bear to think about the disappointed class, or teacher, or best friend, or especially about the garden they worked so hard to plant. The garden would never be filled with big, beautiful, bright flowers now. The next morning, Candace woke up with an idea. She hurried to school. Hopefully, Miss Weather would like her plan. I wonder what her plan is. That very good idea, Candace. That's a very good idea, Candace, Miss Fernweather said softly. Candace had suggested that they try planting another garden, and she promised to only water it when the ground felt dry. Candace worked very hard getting ready for the new garden. She went to visit a plant nursery. She read about gardening. She even bought a special seed as a surprise for her class. The gardener told her those flower seeds will attract beautiful butterflies. When it was finally time to plant the new garden, Candace was excited but a little nervous. She didn't want anything to go wrong. She and her class worked together, digging and planting until everything was in place. Candace even said a little prayer. When they finished, they stood back and admired their hard work. Even Harry was impressed. Candace's class checked the garden every day. They watched and waited for seeds to sprout and the plants to grow bigger. It wasn't easy, but Candace waited patiently with her friends. She only watered when the ground felt dry, and when time seemed to move slowly, she and Harry tried singing to the seeds. At last, sprout appeared, and soon a little plant began to bloom. Small at first, then bigger, and then bigger. Until finally the flowers Candace had imagined bloomed big, bright, and beautiful. Colorful butterflies fluttered and floated through the seas of blooms. It was easy being patient. It wasn't easy being patient, Candace admitted to Miss Fernwell, but it was worth the wait. Look at the beautiful butterflies. Wow. Even Henry agreed. That's the end of Candace Grow Candace. Grow Candace Grow by Candace Carmel Bure and illustrated by Kristen Bratz. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful story of Grow Candace Grow. And I hope this spring you will get out and maybe grow something yourself. Hey, maybe you can start a little garden, or maybe you have a garden already. I think it's wonderful to be able to plant something and watch it grow. Well, this is Miss Nesbitt with Storytime with Miss Nesbitt. I hope you enjoyed this story. Until next time, be blessed and see you soon. Bye now.